I can't count the number of times somebody's tried to turn us in for doing something and come to find out we're illegal. I actually did get turned in one time in Nevada for not having a license, not knowing that you had to have a license before you could even bid in that state. So we turned in a bid and got in trouble and had a $1,000 fine for bidding without a license. And by the time, funny thing is, by the time we actually got caught, we had our license, but we still got the $1,000 fine and don't do that again.
Yeah.
So that was bad.
But that's part of the things of, you know, AFA, the Facebook page. You have those friends you can reach out. Hey, what do you think of this?
I'm Mark Olson. Luke Gibson and I have a combined 50 years in construction as fence contractors. In that time, we have both experienced failures and success. We travel the country talking with other contractors who share their experiences in hopes that their stories can make you a more successful contractor.
Get a mentor, I would say. I mean, a mentor can help you out enormously.
Big time.
Your suppliers can maybe even team you up with somebody, you know, Ohio's a big state, you know, and another part of the state that can say, okay, these are the things that caught me when I was young.
Right. Oh yeah, and that's a big thing. And you don't even have to get it in the state. You get someone that's been around that did a startup company already. Say, hey, you know, I'm having this problem.
Or talk to another business owner. They don't have to be a fence contractor, but another business owner.
You know, when I talked to my buddy Ryan,
sheetrocker, landscaper.
You know, when I talked to my buddy Ryan, he was a periodontist, but he's in business. He's built $1 million facility with operatories and everything else like that. He's been through the process. Sure, he doesn't do fencing, but he pays taxes. He has the insurance. You know, he knows the processes.
Yeah, so and another good resource for somebody that's kind of in similarly related with the landscapers. If you got a landscaper buddy, or go talk to a landscaper. Some of these people that are outside of your, you know, so they don't feel like they're giving away trade secrets, you're helping out the competition. Those guys, you can find a mentor in the related field.
Right, and those are good, like I like to call them power partners, because landscapers don't want to do fencing.
Most of them don't. They want it to do.
And fencers do not want to go do landscaping, especially, you know, oh, can you move that dirt and move this over here? No, I'm a fencer, not a landscaper.
Pool guys, you're knowing them because every pool needs a fence.
Right.
You know?
And so power partners, that's a big thing.
Which not only can they help you get up to speed quicker, but they can help give you work.
Right. And so maybe you give them a 5% kickback. You figure that into the job. A referral fee, and it's legal to give them a referral fee.
Yeah,
I mean, sure, you might have to give them a 1099 at the end of the year, but they'll probably take that because they're making money off of you.
Anything under $600 doesn't have to be 1099.
But if they're a good enough power partner, they're getting more than $600.
What are some other things that you can think of that you would offer for advice, or things you struggled with kind of starting up?
Good computer programs, accounting programs, you know. So I got an accountant and she recommended QuickBooks Online. You know, not paid by QuickBooks, but I have it on my phone. I have it on my computer. She can log in because you can approve accountants on there.
Yep.
You don't have to download a thing and take it to the accountant's office and do that. You know, same thing. They can pay my taxes, my workman's comp, all through that, and it's documented for me. You know, I'll look at it in the morning and, oh, I got X amount of dollars in the checking account, and all of a sudden I come home and I do a deposit and I'm like, wait, I put money in, but why am I cheaper? And you start looking through and there's journal entries and everything else. Oh, okay, that was paid.
So get started. That's starting off on the right foot. Make sure that you have a good accounting program and that you're, you know, you don't want to take your receipts at the end of the year in a 5-gallon bucket.
Right.
It's, make sure you're kind of organized about what you're doing. And if you start your company, your accountant can actually help you get set up with your business license through the state, register with the Secretary of State and all that other stuff that you'll need to do.
And then all your charts of accounts, she can set up.
They can help you set all that up, and it's nice and neat, and they can actually kind of act as your bookkeeper depending on how much service you need.
Yeah, depending, I mean, she would reconcile the checks if I wanted to, she would do all that, but I didn't need that. You know, maybe starting off, you do want that.
Some of these people, I guarantee you, they're good at building fence, maybe, but they just they suck at books.
Right.
That's not what they're good at. And that's not uncommon in construction.
And if you're not, I mean, you don't have to have an accountant for that, but, you know, if you're going to Home Depot for concrete or you're going to Merchants Metals for pipe, you need to enter those bills.
Yeah.
Enter them. constantly enter them. Don't wait till the end of the month to reconcile your checkbook.
And a good accountant can teach you how to enter those so that
Right.
they're done correctly, because they'll help you set your books up.
Right.
Because it's garbage in, garbage out. You know, if you start off on the wrong foot and you think, oh, I'll just set it up and I'll just answer the questions that QuickBooks wants, you'll get an accounting system, but you won't understand
Right.
it, and it'll be garbage at the end of the year.
Yeah. Cost of goods sold. And then whose job was it?
Yeah.
And cost of labor sold. Whose job was it? Because then you can, I could go in any job right now and see where I landed a certain job, how much profit I made on that one job. Yeah, it's all through QuickBooks. It's just a report you hit. I mean, so make sure you get the right people, the right programs, align yourself with someone. You don't have to be primarily there 100%. Tanya's mad.
Yep. I'm not married anymore, so ladies,
Yeah,
you're looking for a man.
I
I
guarantee
wasn't
you.
married for a second. What other growing pains did you have? Every company goes through like a cycle.
Yeah.
Depending on how fast you grow, the worse the pains.
Well, yeah, I mean, because they're for 14, 15, 16.
Because you go from $0
Right.
to first year, how much did you do out of the gate?
First year out of the gate, granted it was August till the end of the year because I do calendar year, it was 120,000.
So in a short period of time, you did 120.
Yeah.
And then the next year, what was it?
It was 240, even though it looks like a growth, it really
It
wasn't.
was fairly stable.
Right.
Because that was you and two guys.
Yeah, and then the following year it was 327.
So that's, I mean, that's a
Yeah.
50% growth, basically.
And so I'm like, whew, this is, life is good. But it's also, I got to buy another machine. Part of it was the accountant's telling me, look, you got to spend X amount of dollars or you're going to have to pay the government that. Okay, well, then I'll buy this. Or maybe I need to buy a trailer. I
And
kept,
usually about then you're adding new foremen, and so you need another truck. You might need another MT85 or MT50, whatever.
well, yeah.
Another trailer.
Yep.
I mean, so I need another table saw and chop saw. And
Right.
every crew you add, people don't think about the cost of adding that extra crew, because there's a lot of money
Oh, yeah.
spent adding one crew. One crew can cost you $200,000.
Yeah.
It just depends on how you're set up, Sean King's trucks, if he adds another
Oh,
crew, he has
sheesh.
to buy another truck. And then he
Yeah.
has to buy all the tools for that truck and equipping it. That's a lot of money. So think about those things as you grow.
Yeah.
Not to mention, if you got to pay cash for all the materials, having to buy more materials means that you're going to have to outlay more cash. And I think that's one of the reasons that it's really good when you first start out to get started on residential, as long as you're careful.
Yeah.
Because the last thing you want to do is go out there and collect a bunch of money and not do people's jobs.
Well, and the thing with residential, if you work with your attorney, you can come up with a pretty decent 1-2 page contract that basically covers your butt.
Yeah.
Even if you do something wrong, your butt's covered.
And the cash flow is good on
Right.
residential.
Because hopefully at the end of the job, you're getting a check before you leave.
You get half of it before you do the end of the job, which is customary. I don't know what you do. That's just across the industry. That's typically what we see. 50% when you sign the contract, then the other 50% on completion once they sign off on it being well done.
Right.
And so you're not, basically they're buying the materials before you even have to buy them.
Right.
So that's how Amazon made it for so many years, losing money. It was just good cash flow. And so residential customers are great for cash flow.
Yes.
If you're new, work on that side of the business well in advance of going into the commercial.
Because then you're going
commercial-
to, granted, you're not going to be with vinyl or ornamental, you're not going to do a lot of commercial, but your chain link, your wood, you're going to get those relationships with the manufacturer suppliers that once you do the commercial and maybe need a little extra terms that they've seen how well you pay, they'll
And you've started a relationship with
right.
them. So
Maybe they'll work with you on that.
the residential is definitely easier to get into, and there's a whole new complexity when you start getting into commercial.
Well, and then you have a contract for residential, but when you do commercial, you're getting a minimum of a 20-page contract.
Yeah, and some of them are, we get contracts that are
Yeah.
this thick, and trust me, they're not in my favor.
No,
I
they're
guarantee
not.
it. Just even the insurance. We do not sign a contract without sending it to our
Right.
insurance agents for review, because they'll try and sneak all kinds of stuff in there.
I had one contract where the insurance agent's like, with everything they want, it's going to cost you an extra $700 in different riders.
And then I go back to them and say it's going to be $700. You want to pay that, or you want to take this?
Yeah.
You want me to redline this out?
Right.
Just go ahead and redline it.
Yeah. Don't.
Okay, we'll get to that.
And then I love I just finished a job. It's over here in Akron. the company's out of Indiana, the general contractor. They wanted to go to Las Vegas if there was any mediation.
That's never good too. That's a big one.
Why am I going to go to a third-party area if there is a problem?
Yeah, and they'll do that. They'll
Oh,
make
yeah.
it their place so it's convenient for them. But the reality is both of you guys came to Medina, Ohio.
Right.
So it ought to be Medina,
Right.
Ohio, and you can usually get them to agree with that. But if you don't read your contracts carefully, so commercial, definitely
Oh.
there's a lot to do with commercial, and we'll probably do a video one of these days just on commercial because commercial's a big deal. Well, you have anything else you'd like to tell YouTube fence contractors?
Just set them deep and set them straight.
Set them deep and set them straight. If it ain't tight, it ain't right.
Right. That's Luke's deal.
That's
isn't it?
Luke.
Yeah, I can't. That's copyright infringement. Like Sean was stealing yours.
Yeah, man.
Jeez.
Jeez.
Yeah.
People just take all my stuff and steal it. I think Luke, we're doing this in honor of Luke since he couldn't be here.
I know.
Talk with
Yeah,
him.
had to go see Stony Ridge. But that's the other thing. Maybe you should join. I am Ken Throckmorton only. Do not join BBB.
No.
It's a waste of money. I have been in business 6 years. I have an A+ rating, and I didn't pay for it once.
Nope. Yeah.
And I tell customers, why aren't you accredited? And I tell them, accreditation means I've paid them to tell me or tell you that I'm good.
I've never had a customer even ask me about the BBB.
I've had a couple,
I've not had one.
and I've educated them. Get in some networking groups, because
Maybe
then,
some local ones.
yeah, local one. They have the BNI, which is a pretty strict one, Business Network, Builders Association, AFA. You know.
Yeah, AGC would be
Yeah.
a big one if you're thinking about commercial.
Even the Builders Association love fencers. And it's funny because I belong to a Builders Association. There's not one other fencer in there. And guess how many of those builders are like, hey, I need a fence, I need a rail, I
There
need
you
this.
go, Power Partners.
Yep, big time. And they don't
Good way
even,
to
I mean,
advertise.
not that I'm going to gouge them, but they don't even ask, hey, I need this I got a quote from this guy. Here's the price, do it, done.
So did you start out competing on price?
Yeah,
And where are you at now?
I'm probably one of the highest in the area.
Your price is your price, and if you want Ken Throckmorton with Forever Fence and Rail, this is what's going to cost
Yeah.
you. And if you don't want to pay that, that's fine. I'm not mad at you. But Ken Throckmorton here, he needs to eat. Ken
And
Throckmorton's got goals. He's going places,
Yeah.
right?
right, and that's the thing. My pricing structure is going to have to change because down the street,
Your overhead just changed.
big time.
But it hopefully delivers a new level of convenience and
Right.
service to your customers.
And some of those builders are like, we could do this if we could come pick it up. And that's what always gets me is, if you have that showroom or even that warehouse where you can, hey, I need one of these or I need two of these. Well, I can get it for you in a week. Or, hey, yeah, come and get it. You can do it yourself.
Yeah, stop by and our shop guy will load you up and
Yep.
get you out of here. Yeah, we've been here with Ken Throckmorton with Forever Fence and Rail, talking with them about kind of how he started and everything. Maybe we'll do a follow-up here a couple years and see where you're at because,
Hopefully
Change.
hopefully maybe I got an addition on that place.
maybe you've outgrown that one.
Maybe it would be a second location.
I've never talked to anybody that said, boy, I've got so much room, I don't know what to do with all of it.
Yeah, no.
Usually it's like, man, I wish I'd have made that building about 3 times bigger.
Yeah, I thought, whoa, 56 by 104, that's a huge building. But I'm already looking at it like, maybe I should have made it bigger.
Anyhow, successful contractor, like us, subscribe, hit that notification bell so that you know when we upload a new video. And until next time, you have a good dang day.